considering the blitz that they just had against them.
And come on out here. Come get some. Come get some. Come on here. Come get some.
Now Wentz on third down.
What is up, YouTube? Today we're going to be going over a blitz found in the Jacksonville Jaguars defensive playbook. Now, they are a 4-3. I'm going to switch sides real fast. They are a 4-3 base defense, but they also have 4-6 normal in their playbook as well. I'm going to go random play. But they are a 4-3 base playbook, so they do have dollar as well as dime and big nickel over G, which, you know, that formation isn't too bad, as well as nickel normal. But anyways, we're going to be working 4-6 normal. The blitz is going to be fire zone 3. Now, this is going to be more of a numbers game is how we're going to work this blitz. And you guys saw in those previous clips that it was coming through screaming even if they blocked their running back. So we're going to go fire zone 3. And then for offense, they should have like a trips. We'll just stick to something simple as level sale right now. So the setup for this blitz is as follows. Now, you may run into a couple of issues where, I'm so happy it did that, where the baseline will bring your linebacker, or even like if you do a baseline press, will bring your linebacker down. It kind of just sucks when that happens. You kind of just got to move him back and just as straight as you can and hope that doesn't mess the blitz up. That's not going to happen every time, but it will happen. And when that does occur, just try and move him straight back, not off to the side. And so this is good representation. He's going to be directly on the hash marks. So we already went ahead of baseline. We're going to go ahead and slant our D-line to the outside. So left on the D-pad, up on the right stick. We're going to blitz. First off, just 5. This is against a non-blocked running back. The key to this, and the key with most blitzes now in Madden 20, is bumping. And what I mean by that is you're going to blitz your user and just kind of occupy the opposite side guard from where you're sending the blitz at. For this example, we're going to be sending it from the right side. So right here, what we're going to do is try and hover directly over the left guard. And when I blitz, I'm going to show you guys kind of the angle you're going to be looking at. So you can see right here, our angle is going towards the A gap. If we move it towards the left a little bit too far, it becomes a little too sharp. And what's going to end up happening is you're either going to get sucked onto the left tackle, or you're just going to come shooting through the B gap on the left side, and we really don't want to do that because us as a user, we're going to be dropping into coverage. So just really hover, just really hover over the left guard and just bump him. Now, as far as adjustments go, I'm going to change these guys into curl flats because they seem to be able to protect the seams longer for you to drop back there. But the final part to setting up this blitz is you're going to go ahead and put everybody in QB contain. Now, as we get into sending 6, or technically 7, but more so sending 6, the contain's really going to be absolutely key to get it coming through clean against a blocked running back, and sometimes max protects as well. So this is how you're going to go ahead and set it up. You're going to baseline, slant your D-line to the outside, keep it contained, blitz your user, and then hover over the left guard, and you're going to give him a little bump and then just drop right back into coverage. So let's go ahead and get this going. So right here, bump, disengage, scream. We're in coverage as well, able to cover the middle of the field. Now, if you guys are worried about the little taper out, you can always do the following. I'm going to go ahead and set this blitz up again. There we go. That time the linebacker didn't move. Sometimes he will. You notice by just manually moving him back into the spot where he should be in the baseline, it will still come through. Now, if we're worried about this taper out, we can always just shade underneath. And then what you can do from here is you can put B and you can man him up to A. And then I'll do an individual shade to the right, but I forget if it's a baseline, you can't do that. So instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put B into a cloud flat. If you do not baseline, you can individually shade players. If you baseline, you can't do that anymore. Same thing with like back off and press, unless they've recently changed that, which we can find out real fast. I think they don't do that. So just keep that in mind if you do these kind of adjustments. So now we're going to go ahead and slant our D-line to the outside, keep it contained. Blitz our user. So in a sense, this is kind of sending 6, but in reality, it isn't because our user's just going to drop straight back into coverage. We'll go ahead and send it. So we bump, disengage, scream, easy, super fast. If you can get a fast linebacker like Bobby Wagner in there, it's going to come through quick as all get out. So now we're going to go ahead and get into start sending 6. So we talked about at the beginning of this video, this is a numbers blitz. If you notice they are starting to block the running back, and oftentimes if the running back is on the same side where that blitzing linebacker is, he's generally going to pick it up. Now, sometimes this is Madden 20 and players just might straight up dumb out and miss it. but 9 times out of 10, he's going to be able to effectively pick it up. So this is where we need to start sending 6 when they're going to start blocking 6. The only way you're going to be able to consistently pick this up is going to max protect and sliding, but we're not going to worry about all that stuff in this video. So we're going to go ahead and block our running back. Now that frees up quite a bit right here. So now we no longer have to worry about that table route. We could actually do this. We can now man up A to A, and that should bag it for the most part. Same thing as everything else for the first part. You're going to go slant your D-line to the outside, QB contain, and now we're going to go ahead and blitz all linebackers. So right on the D-pad, down the right stick, and make sure we QB contain again. Now, this is probably the most important part. Sometimes this guy right here, Bud Dupree, will not be in the contain assignment. If he is not in the contain, you need to manually move him over closer to the defensive end until he is in the contain assignment. The defensive end cannot be in the contain. It has to be this outside linebacker. So just double check. You can hold down right trigger or left trigger and up on the right stick in practice mode. You'll see he isn't contained. If you're in a game, you just hold left trigger and it'll show the play art. Then the same thing as always, you're going to hover over the left guard. I'm going to make sure I block my running back, and you're just going to give him a little bump. That's all you're looking to do. So here, bump, disengage, and you can see that time, since they're blocking the running back, this is kind of sending 7, but not really. We're still able to get it into coverage and lock it all up, and it comes through off of the left edge. Now if they go max protect right here, this sometimes will pick it up. It's not extremely consistent. Again, you have to do a little bit of a slide protect as well to get this to really stop. But let's go ahead and send it again. Blitz all line, so baseline, blitz all linebackers, slant your D-line to the outside, QB contain. Again, double check that this outside linebacker, Bud Dupree, is in the contain assignment. Hover right here over the left guard, give him a little love tap, and you're off to the races. That time you can see it did manage to pick it up, but we're still getting some good pressure as well. Now, I want to talk about that angle that our defender took. This is kind of where I was talking about why it's so important to be directly lined up over the left guard. You can see he kind of goes straight through the A gap and engages with the center. Well, you need him to engage with number 77 or the left guard or whatever guard you're going to be standing on. You can send this from the right, you can send this from the left. It's just going to have to, you have to bump the left guard. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. You must bump this in order to get through cleanly. So you can see right there, we kind of messed up and we got engaged with the center instead of the left guard. Left guard was able to shift, pick up the outside linebacker coming off the edge, and that's why it just didn't come through that time. So let's go ahead, try this one more time. So baseline, I don't know why my user doesn't want to baseline with it. Baseline, slant your D-line to the outside, blitz all linebackers, QB contain. Again, this is when they are starting to block the running back. If they're not blocking the running back, there's no need for you to start sending 6 unless you want to get dual edge heat. Then by all means, go right on ahead. We're going to go ahead and do a max protect. Again, make sure you bump this left guard. If you notice yourself is starting to shoot the A gap more frequently, then perhaps you need to move over just a little bit and kind of stand in between the left tackle and the left guard. Just as long as you're engaging with that left guard is what's really going to help tremendously. I'm going to make sure I've got max protect. We've set the blitz up. We're going to try and bump this guard. Again, that time we don't. But you can see right there against a max protect, it comes through screaming. Absolutely humming. Now, again, if you're going to get this to come through against a max protect, make sure you bump that guard. If you have issues where your guys just consistently going towards the center or going through that A gap, what you can do is you can manually bump him. I'll kind of explain and show you guys what I'm talking about right there. So again, set it all up. And then instead, what I'm going to do, instead of having my user on a blitz, I'm going to actually put him into a zone. And then I'm going to manually bump the left guard. So it's just a guaranteed bump where I want it. Instead of kind of relying on the blitz, forcing me to where it wants me to go. So right here, we're going to manually bump, or at least kind of confuse the offensive line, drop into coverage. But you can see right there, if we're able to bump it, we're going to get it coming through off the edge pretty darn clean. Occasionally, you're going to run into this issue where they're just going to want to shoot the A gap instead. If that's the case and they've got like 4th and 30 or 4th and 40 to go, why not just user rush and just sack the quarterback? At that point, it will become unblockable if you do decide to send 7. So, I really want to get this to work in this max protect because it does work. It's just being a little pain in the butt right now. We'll set this all up. Please, please, please work. Come on. Maybe we need to hover on the B gap or something like that. Any way to bump that left guard. Any way to bump them. There we go. Okay, we kind of bumped them. Kind of bumped them long enough for the edge to come through very, very clean. You can see right there, without a max protector, we're going to get dual edge heat coming in hot. So that's going to take care of this video. I want to go over a little bit about coverage now. That's the blitz portion. Now, what can you do with this? First off, deep thirds are they're kind of good for guarding corner outs. This corner out in particular, ran by Boyle, generally is going to get underneath and outside third. So if I'm only sending 5, I'm going to go ahead and just set the blitz up like I normally would. If I'm only sending 5 and I think they're going to do like a level sail, what I might do is shade underneath to put hard plats out there. And then I might take X and put him into a vertical hook instead, just to really help with any kind of quick throws up the seam, whether it be like a slant, the in route that you guys see, or just a streak even. They can't really snap through it at that point. So it's kind of just a little bit of a mind game. Next, what I might do is I might put B into a clap flat. You got to be careful about doing this in particular, because if they decide to streak the tight end, as you can see, there's nobody on the right side of the field. So you got to be 100% certain that they are indeed putting them on a corner route. Now, if you're worried about that, you can always double tap Y, A up on the right stick, and man him up to A, and well, then that streak's going to be completely bagged. That flop flat will be able to play both the tail route and the corner route. The tail route might still get about like, what, 2-3 yards, but if you have a safety right there, they're going to get punched in the face and maybe fumble it, but eventually they're just going to take some seriously big hits. And of course, you just want to set your blitz up and get it all ready to go, and then just kind of change your coverage behind it. Now, if you double tap Y, I'm pretty sure you can put him into deep half. I believe it goes to the left side, if I remember correctly. Yeah, so if it goes to the left side, so preferably keep him in that inside third. You can put him into hook curl if you're expecting a level sail. So you could do this, Y down in the D-pad or down on the left stick, whatever you guys want to do. That really help take away those big routes that you're going to see coming across the field, especially that little 10-yard run, and then you can just cover everything over here. Again, I don't suggest doing that, because if they decide to streak B, you're going to have nobody over the top to really play that ball. So I'm almost always going to keep Y into an inside third, and if I'm expecting like a cover 3 beater or whatever, I might put X into a deep half or something like that. You can also do the following. You can double tap and keep him into an outside third, and then just play the sticks. Now I'll keep it from getting bombed over top, and if you're really worried, you could always shade over top, and that would just completely prevent a one-play touchdown against coverage. So there's a lot of different things that you guys can do to just adjust to your opponents. You can see it's a very unique, little bit of a hybrid coverage behind it, and then you can just send 5. It's very, very basic to do. Kind of mess around with coverages, just see what you like to run against different formations. You can see right there, bump, bagged, mother fluffing bag. There is nobody to throw to whatsoever, and we're still getting pressure. One final thing with the 4-6 normal that's pretty nice about this is you have something called packages within the defense, and the package I probably want to use is speed package. What this does is it puts an extra DB into the box, so you get more speed. It's pretty self-explanatory. The faster, the better. That's just how Madden is. Speed is king. So you can just mess around with the speed package. If you don't want to do that, what you can do is you can go over and you can just kind of mess around with your linebackers. But you can see right here, if you don't have speed package, you are not able to put any kind of safety in. So if you want more speed on the field, you have a good, fast, I believe it's safety is number 31. Then go ahead. I believe it's your second string, either your free safety or your strong safety that gets put into there. Don't quote me on that. We can check who this is. Yeah, so it should be your second string, either your second string free safety or strong safety. You guys have to mess around a little bit with that to find out who it is. But going to speed package, if you're expecting a 100% pass and you just want to have superb coverage out on the field, you can always mess around a little bit with 26. Who is this? You can always mess around with this, but I put Ryan Chaser in there. Whatever his name, Barron is. He's pretty fast, decent speed, decent height. But just a little extra tip right there, what you can do, how you can kind of mess around with 4-6 normal, get some better coverage people out there, get some speed out there, etc., etc. So with that being said, that's going to take care of this video with all the tips I have about 4-6 normal and setting the blitz, a little bit of coverage behind it. If you guys are new, be sure you subscribe to the channel, and until next time, this has been T Meister. See ya.